Image resolution and resizing images. It all starts with pixels, the basic unit of digital photography. So let's zoom in and check out the pixels. As we start to zoom in, we lose clarity, and by the time we get to 3200%, the only thing that we can see is the individual pixels that make up this image. Notice that they're all square, and we can't determine at this point what this image is. Pixels can vary in size, and for this particular exercise, we're only considering two resolutions: 72 pixels per inch for a computer monitor and 300 pixels per inch for high-resolution printing. Think about it, 72 pixels per linear inch for computer monitor resolution and 300 pixels per linear inch for high-resolution printing. Each pixel can vary in hue. That's not correct. Each pixel can only describe one hue or tone. And as we start to add all of those pixels back together, they can vary a great deal between the hues and tones. But as we start to zoom out, we gain clarity until we're back to our full, very sharp image that we started with. The first thing I'd like to explain is in the image size dialog box. And in here is something that confuses people. First thing I want you to see is that we have the dimensions in pixels and inches, shows the resolution. The resample checkbox is like a lockbox. With a checkbox in there, I can change either the dimensions or the resolution, and it won't change the other part of the equation here. You notice I changed the width, but the resolution did not change. When I uncheck the resample box and I go ahead and change the resolution size down to 72, you notice that the width changed. But the thing is that we still have the same amount of total pixels. We just changed this pixel size and needed a little bit more room to store them all in. Okay, now we're looking at an image that we want to put into an MSA gallery. First thing we're going to do is look at it at 100%, or it's at 72 pixels per inch resolution, which is our computer resolution. As we scroll around, it looks to be a fairly large image. So let's check out what the actual dimensions are when we go up to the image menu, image size dialog box. It's a little over 5,600 pixels by 3,700 pixels and just a little over 18 by 12 inches at 300 pixels per inch. Our target for a width on putting an image into the MSA gallery is going to be 11 by 18 inches wide at 72 pixels per inch. A good target for a vertical image is 9 to 11 inches high at 72 pixels per inch. So I can do this all in one step by changing the width to, I'm going to pick 16 inches for a width and a resolution of 72, our target resolution. Use a resample method of bicubic sharper for reduction. Click OK. And our image was downsampled in one step. There's only one problem with that. We lose a little bit of detail when we do that all in one step to go down to 16 by 10 at 72. So let's do it a different way. We're going to go back up and revert our image back to its original size. And now we're going to go ahead and do it in 3 steps. For best detail, downsize large images by slightly less than 50% in each step. So let's go to our image size dialog box. We're going to deselect resample image, change resolution from 300 to 72. Notice our width and height got much bigger. We're going to go a little under 50%. We're going to try 40 inches wide. And we're going to use the downsample method of preserve detail, which I find works better when we're doing it over many steps here. And now let's go back to the image dialog box, a little under 50%. We'll try 23 wide. Click OK, and one more time, and we're going to change it to our final size of 16 inches wide at 72 pixels per inch. When we view this at 100%, this is the size you're going to view it at the MSA gallery. And we'll check our size at 16 by a little over 10 at 72. Now I need to save it for the web, so we're going to go up to the Save for Web dialog box, choose JPEG. I like to use a quality of 53 because it gives me very good quality at a fairly small file size. I'm going to click Save, And I'm going to name it appropriately so I can find it and save it in a place where I can find it also. And then we're ready to upload it to the MSA gallery. And now we're going to do the same thing with a vertical or portrait formatted image. And the first thing we're going to do is go up to the image menu, go to the image size dialog box, and check out the size. It's almost 3100 pixels by 3700 pixels deep, 10.28 by 12.48 inches deep at 300 pixels per inch. Very important now, deselect resample image. And when you make the resolution smaller, you're going to inversely proportionally make the width and height bigger. That's okay. You notice our height is 52. We want to end up with a target height of 11, so we don't want to do that in one step. So let's go ahead and change 52 to just a little less than 50% of that height. So we're going to change that to 30. Click OK. Go to the image dialog box again and change 30 to 17, and notice we have preserved details enlargement for the resample method. And one more time, we're going to change 17 to our target height of 11 inches tall. Click OK, and let's view this image at 100%. This is the size that will appear when somebody clicks on the thumbnail of your image in the MSA gallery. We're going to do one additional thing this time. We're going to go to Smart Sharpen, keep all the presets with the exception of we're going to change the amount to 28, just under 30. Click OK. Then we're going to go to File, Save for Web. And once again, we're going to select JPEG at a quality of 53. Go ahead and click Save. We're going to name that something we can remember. And we're going to save that in a file where we know we can find it to upload it to the MSA gallery. In this particular image, I want to enlarge it, so I'm going to use a little bit different system than we did when we were downsizing images. So the first thing I want to do is look at the image dialog box, and I can see it's 18.71 by 12.473 at 300 pixels per inch, which is the largest image my camera can expose for. Now, I want my final size to be 30 by 20 inches. Technically, I can just take the horizontal dimension and make it 30 by 20. If I click OK, it's going to make it 30 by 20, but I'm doing it all in one step. This forces Photoshop to create a lot of pixels all in one step. You're going to lose some clarity, you're going to lose some detail. So what we're going to do is make little baby steps on this. I'm going to go ahead and change it back to its original size. And what I like to do is enlarge it around 10% of the dimension each time. So that'd be about 1.8 inches for 10% of this. I'm just going to go to up to 20 inches, which is slightly under 10%. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Then I'm just going to keep doing that to be on the safe side of just going 2 inches bigger each time. And as I mentioned, this allows Photoshop to invent pixels, but in small steps. And you definitely get a better quality image when you're doing that this way. And we'll go up to 28, one more step to go. And go up to 30 by 20 at 300 resolution. Okay. I'm going to save it as a JPEG because I'll assume I'm going to send this via the internet to Bayphoto, Costco, and they're high resolution printers. I can't go to File, Save for Web like we did when we were downsizing images because this image is just too big for that method to handle. So I'm going to go to up just a couple of steps to Save As. I'm going to go ahead and select JPEG, and I'm going to save this as Moss. Click Save. And yes, I do want to replace it. I did save this before in practicing for this. So I get this JPEG dialog box to come up, and what I want to do is select maximum on the quality, because that way the high resolution printer has absolutely the most information to work with to give you a quality image.